So if we're concerned that someone might have a concussion, the first thing we want to check is make sure that they're awake. If they lose consciousness, by definition, that's a concussion. The headache is the most common one that people talk about, nausea, vomiting, those types of things. But things that some people don't always think of would be emotional types of symptoms. So kids that aren't very emotional might start to cry when you start to talk to them and say, hey, I'm thinking you might have a concussion, let's go have a talk. And they start to cry, I'm okay, coach, or those kinds of things are pretty telltale signs as well. Common myths that are sort of spread or have been maintained over the years with regard to concussion include you shouldn't sleep, and waking your kid up after a concussion, every hour or so is not what we want you to do. We want the brain to rest for 24 to 48 hours as much as possible. So limit TV, phone, reading, all that kind of stuff, and just rest as much as you feel like you need to rest. So some of the most common sports to have concussion are actually soccer. Football, obviously, everyone's aware of, but soccer, definitely, we get a lot of concussions from that. Wrestling as well. Females are at a higher risk of concussion than males. Women's soccer is one of the ones that concerns us. One of the most challenging cases of concussion that we often see is when someone doesn't do it right the first time. They try to keep playing after they get a concussion or go back to play too soon. What can oftentimes happen is you turn what might be a 2 to 3 week process into a 3 to 6 month process where you're dealing with the symptoms for much longer, and then it becomes a bigger problem for kids and their families. And again, getting evaluated by someone who understands it early on can be a real game changer.